What would I do if Tower of Fantasy offered you a sponsor?
They have.
They have. Hold on.
Many times.
Hold on. Because a lot of people have this weird misconception that the reason I quote-unquote hate Tower of Fantasy is because they never sponsored me. The reality of the situation is Tower of Fantasy did offer to sponsor me, but I turned them down. Tower of Fantasy was one of the few sponsors that I genuinely turned down. I'm trying to find the email real quick so I can right. I'm not gonna show you guys like the full email. I know technically it shouldn't be an issue too, but I am gonna take like parts of the email just to give you guys an example. Okay. So, back when the game first came out, they wanted me to be a part of their dev diaries. I don't know if you guys remember what that was, but they had MTashed and some other person take my place. I was supposed to be there for episode 1. So here's basically what they wanted me to do. They didn't allow for me to like say what I wanted about Tower of Fantasy. Rather, they had this entire elaborate script set up, right? Where I wouldn't even technically be allowed to talk about the game or my experiences in it. As an example here, they had an intro set up where they noted the camera would switch to the host and then the guest. We would self-intro, we would greet the audience, we would introduce, the host would introduce today's agenda, would switch to the corner. We would talk about pre-registration reactions. We would talk about the closed beta 1 and 2. We'd give background story on characters. We'd discuss what the game was and how we liked it, etc., etc. Like the topics were all pre-selected, and essentially it was just one. Like, yes, it was going to be sponsored, but it was essentially just one big advertising campaign that was essentially written by them, directed by them, and I didn't really have any like input whatsoever. I was given a list of topics we were going to discuss, and then I got given a bunch of things I was not allowed to say and I was allowed to say based off of the questions that I would randomly be asked. So I turned it down. I said no. That was the one time. Well, no. Actually, I got asked to do a sponsored video a couple times after that. But after that, that tainted my initial experience. And I was like, I can't work with Tower of Fantasy again because they want to control the entire narrative of the video. They want to control my narrative. They want me to tell my viewers what they think. Not what I think. They don't want to give me the option of being like, you know, this is all my opinion. No, they want me to say this is my opinion, but my opinion actually be written by the devs themselves. That is why I turned it down, and that, again, tainted my experience, and is why I would never accept another sponsorship from them. So do I hate Tower of Fantasy because they never sponsored me? No, not at all. I don't hate Tower of Fantasy, but they very much did offer to sponsor me a lot of money to be a part of their dev diary, to be a main focal point of it for episode 1.